Last night when I brewed the Irish Stout, Cooper's Modified, and I put it in the fermenter, the temperature was about 21 point something degrees. Let's say it's 22 degrees, that puts it up around 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about the top of where the particular yeast I used should be used. It could be at a lower temperature. Don't want it really any warmer. I think the temperature on this level in my apartment was around 70 degrees. Well, I've got a window open upstairs because it's an unrelated reason, and I just wanted to leave the air conditioner off today, kind of forgetting about this beer. And when I came downstairs and I looked at the thermostat here, it said 77 degrees. You can see I'm cooling it down now, but now it's only down to 73, so here we go. The reason that became important is I came in here and found that I seem to be in blow-off tube territory here. I've already taken off the airlock. This is just kind of happening right now. And I thought maybe lowering the temperature would slow this down. Doesn't seem to be doing it so far. And I don't have a blow-off tube. I don't know how I would use that. Whatever. I'm not really worried about that aspect of things in terms of they take those things, stick it in a bucket of water, it turns into a sort of airlock. I don't care about that. I care about not making a mess. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Got some ice packs. There's one. Got another one. But for right now, I have all that foam in there that's just causing a problem. Have I solved the problem? A, I don't know. And B, I doubt it. What I did was I grabbed a bowl from the kitchen and a big spoon, sanitized the spoon, then I used the spoon to scoop out the foam off of the top of the beer. I then cleaned off the cap, the lid, and put a new airlock on, which you notice is not bubbling. The reason it's not bubbling is because the lid just keeps wanting to come out of there, and I think it may have something to do with the carbon dioxide coming off of the top of the... I'm pushing down on it, that's why it's doing that, coming off of the top of the beer. Now I think I've got it pushed down as far as it'll go, so what you're seeing now is from the fermentation. This is how much it's coming out, which is why I think I haven't solved the problem. I've got a couple of packs of ice, which will help to keep it cool, and also help to keep the lid down. Now my main issue with this is that if any of the stuff that's in there manages to come out, I don't want it going back in and spoiling the beer. I mean, if it came out, you would think, it's on top, exposed to the air for some time, and then it gets sucked back in somehow. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I don't want it to make a mess either. And I think it won't make a mess other than ruining my box, which I don't want ruined because I want to be able to put the fermenter in there to protect it from the light. But if it does come out, it'll go down into the box, and if it leaks through the box, it'll be in this tub. So I guess I'm in good shape there, but I am a little bit worried about the beer. As I continued to watch the foam rise, I realized I had a problem. That foam was going to continue to rise, and it was going to plug up the stopper again, and it was just going to come out the way it did the last time. So I found a tube small enough to go into the rubber stopper. It was too short, but I managed to fit it into a larger tube. Before doing any of this, I filled a bucket with a few inches of Star San solution, kind of a waste, I think, but oh well, I had to do it, and disinfected all of that, hooked it all together, As you can see, it's bubbling up. Hopefully that'll be good enough. I had to leave for a short while. Had to go pick up my car, which was getting some recall work done. Airbags. Seems everybody has airbag recall work. When I got home, I found that my there was nothing flowing through the tube. What had actually happened is the lid on the big mouth bubbler had lifted up, and it was just leaking from around there, which seems to be a common problem with these things. I may end up just throwing this one away since it doesn't have the spigot on it. That really bothers me. Anyway, in order to keep the lid down, I've put a 7.5 pound plate and a 10 pound plate on there. And now you can see what's happening. It's a good thing I was able to come up with a blow-off tube. Every once in a while the tube kind of clogs, slows down. As the foam passes through it, it makes it to the bottom, and all the pressure is let off. Which means that maybe I'm being a little too hard on this big mouth bubbler. What do you expect the lid to do when it's under that much pressure? Who knows? It's really kind of going, and then it gets kind of clogged with foam. This is several hours later since the last stage. Oh, look at that. It just pushed a bunch of foam through. This is my first ever blowout. And it's really kind of interesting to watch. It just amazes me how much carbon dioxide is coming out of there. Oh, it stopped. That means it's kind of plugged with foam somewhere. And in a second, it's just going to erupt. Waiting. 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 Sounds like Jaws. There it is. "16 hours later, foam is no longer coming through the tube. About 13 or 14 hours ago, I decided that no more foam was going to be pushed through the tube. You can see how dark that is to get an idea of how much foam was pushed through the tube. The level of the bucket didn't go up very much, but of course it would have been evaporating all that time that foam was going in there. Once I decided no more foam was going to go through there, I took the top off and I sprayed down some paper towels with Star San. Used those wet paper towels to wipe out all around the upper edge of the big mouth bubbler, the fermenter. And of course I washed off the lid, washed out this tube right here and everything else, got it all cleaned up. I was a little worried about having all that organic material kind of sitting out, pushed out around the lid. That sort of thing. I didn't want that attracting creepy crawlies that might get in the beer. Hopefully it's okay. I think it is. I don't really have any reason to believe that there could be any problem with it, and I'm still enthusiastic about it. And it's still going. Look at this. I mean, this is a fairly big tube, right? And it's going at a pretty good rate. I think that's maybe a little bit too fast to get the regular airlock on there. I'll probably do that. Put that back on there tomorrow morning and get this thing back to normal. Ariel can't wait.